So welcome to you, welcome to everyone to this daily miracle class. And it is the key lessons of A Course in Miracles that we're looking at or dealing with today. And it's lesson 191 that is not the final lesson. So there will be one more next week. But this is a great one. And all these lessons establish your freedom. They let you realize that your freedom is in it. So we get to that. We go to the lesson. We go to chapter 26 for a moment today. The Little Hindrance. Read a couple of paragraphs there. But mostly I want to take a look at lesson 191. And the title is, I'll read it to you. I am the Holy Son of God Himself. So it's your declaration of release from bondage of the world. So you're in the world, but not of it. This is being taught by many teachers, by many great teachers. In being in the world, but not of it. So we'll take a look at that today. And chapter 26 is the Little Hindrance. This is exactly what I want to start with. So, the lesson 191 is releasing you from the bondage of the world. That was what I was saying. I can even remember it. It's like the bondage of the world, being in the world but not of it. And temporarily being in the world. It's not going to last forever, being in the world. So that's a temporary sequence or a temporary journey that we're in. And so we decided to make it a happy dream. And that's what we did like weeks ago. We decided it to be a happy dream and not a dream of sickness and pain. So that's really great. And so can you decide for that? Yes, you can. So today, while I was reading chapter 28 and I recorded it for the audiobook that is almost finished, I read about it too a lot. You know, in chapter 28, it's full of thinking, so say, reversing cause and effect, or affecting cause, as it says, reversing affecting cause, which is really great. So it comes back to you. You take your full responsibility for your dream, for what you are dreaming. And not to fall into a mental associative, lecture, we actually come to the feeling of it, to the experience of it. That's the most important thing here in this class. So you can have as many key lessons as you want, but if you don't feel them, if you don't, allow them to become your own experience, what use would they have, really? There are enough places where you can do that, and not this place. So I love to meet you where there's silence, where there's stillness, where there's communication naturally. And so the release from the bondage of the world is taking, in fact, everything back that you projected on this world, taking it all back and saying, no, I'm responsible for this. I was actually asking for it myself. Nobody's doing that to me. Letting someone in. So that is the most important part. Taking it back to where it belongs, like reversing affecting cause. No, there's no cause outside yourself. It is in you. You ask for what you experience, literally on a moment-by-moment basis. And then it says at the same time, like you don't even know what you're asking for, apparently, because everything appears to be happening to you. And you allow a lot of, disturbance or resonance. It's not resonance, but it's more like a disturbance. You allow a lot of that still in your thinking and what is it that you want? It's not a unified goal or anything. You want a lot of things, and that conflicts with one another continuously until you come to the purity of what you want. But like I said, this is not an intellectual discourse. It is coming to the feeling, coming to the connectedness, to the experience of this. So that's really also where chapter 26 comes in. It's like the transitioning into a different way of experiencing yourself. And that's really where the miracle comes in. The miracle is then to stay out of your story, to have a moment of remembering that this isn't it, that the world isn't it. The world is not doing anything to you. So you place that inside yourself as the cause, and that makes something else possible. Suddenly you're able to experience light and love and connectedness instead of the bondage that really is like killing you, literally. It appears to be killing you. Of course, there's no death, so it is not real in the first place. But in your dream, it can look really real. Coming back to the feeling. So are you sinking into your core, into your withinness already? Are you feeling that you're like that this is something completely different that you cannot compare with to anything? Can you feel that? See, I come back to that all the time because it's so important to. It is literally what this is about. It's not about the words. It's not about the mind training. It's not about anything. No, this is about experiencing peace. And you will not be experiencing peace if your goals differ and are not unified. So if you think that there's a lot of things that you want and a lot of things that are doing things to you, then you still are in conflict and your mind is split. So split mind and conflict are the same thing. So a lot of other things come up right now. It must be because I've been reading this. It's like ears, eyes, perception, associative thinking, all that you do to keep the past in place, to keep the past as if it is the cause of you now, as if it has something to do with you in this moment. So this is in fact what you prove to yourself continuously as a human being. Your associative thinking is always based on the past. You talk about your mother, your grandmother, your mother-in-law, your sister, your brother, your who knows what. So you can always associate with something that you got connected with in the past, and it seems to have an effect now. You can prove that to me. And you can prove that to yourself, and you do continuously. And that puts you right in conflict. So like I said, your ears, your eyes, your feelings, your associative thinking all have to do with something that is not there, that literally is not there. You try to prove it to yourself and you actively maintain it, but it's not there. So seeing that is so, or at least even wanting to consider that is what you see, immediately, say, a door opens inside yourself in which you can experience something differently, and this differently is immediately a re-establishment of peace for yourself. So it's not just that we do this to become a better human being or to be more capable to deal with the world or with your health or with your relationship or with your finances. That is not the case. And because all these things and all these associations are based on past, based on something that's already gone. And yeah, what's the use of that if you realize it? So you see each other with your eyes, you hear each other with your ears, you think about one another based on an associative thinking pattern, and you really think that is your life. That's the most fundamental confrontation I want to put up today. It's like, that is what you believe to be true. And that's exactly what keeps everything the way it is. It's like, that's a perpetuation of the past into the future. That is something that will not allow a change, because it would like deny itself until the miracle comes and until you experience something else. So now it is like, it has to be by your decision to admit that you're the cause of this, of that, what you experience, that there's nothing outside of you that's doing it to you. That is the most important part, where it all starts, where the change can occur. And it's not a popular one, because you're not proud of the things that you did or the things that you think that others do to you. You're not proud of it. It's not like, okay, yes, let me open up on that. I really love to share that with you. And it's such a happy message that I'm dealing with here. That's not the case for most of us, right? So that's why this process that we're in can take a moment. It takes a moment for you to admit that the foundation on which it is built is one of straw. Like in the Bible, the reference with a house built on straw is a great synonym for the human way of thinking. So you can build a beautiful house, you can make it look so good and so strong and so well protected. But if it is, say, based on a foundation that is not a reality, then it's based on nothing, and it will wash away. Like it says in the Bible too, it's like it washes away. When the rain comes, the wind comes, it's going to be like all over the place. It's not going to stand. And there's no need to anchor it either, because the foundation is just not good. See, and this is really something to look at, in the sense of, you can use beautiful words to describe what it means to awaken. You can have the most beautiful, say, phrases and references and quotes, but in the end it comes down to, it's like, is that my reality? Am I admitting that is my reality? Am I willing to say, take responsibility for being the cause of all of this, and allowing a change to occur to let it be healed? So that is the process that we're in. So considering the possibility of that what appears to be outside of us is actually happening right here. There's nothing outside of this, so to speak. Are you willing to admit that? Or what is in the way? So in chapter 26, I'm going to read a little bit. Chapter 26, because it's so great to read. And it's chapter 26F, the Little Hindrance, on page 240. I used this before, I know that, but it's always different. So 240, from the Urtext manuscripts. The Little Hindrance. A little hindrance can seem large indeed to those who do not understand that miracles are all the same. But teaching that is what this course is for. That is its only purpose. For only that is all there is to learn. And what was that again? What do I need to learn? A little hindrance can seem large indeed to those who do not understand that miracles are all the same. Oh yeah, so we go back to the miracle principles in a moment. Let's take a look at that too. Miracles are all the same. They don't know of differences, because it would be differences in illusions. So there are not really differences at all. But teaching that is what this course is for. Like, there's no exception. They're all the same. All appearances are the same. All miracles are the same. That is its only function and purpose. For only that is all there is to learn. And you can learn it many different ways. All learning is a help or a hindrance to the gate of heaven. Nothing in between is possible. There are two teachers only, who point in different ways. One is a help, and the other is an hindrance to the gate of heaven. And you will go along the way your chosen teacher leads. There are but two directions you can take, while time remains and choice is meaningful. For never will another road be made except the way to heaven. You but choose whether to go toward heaven or away to nowhere. There is nothing else to choose. Okay, so that's so black and white as can be. And here's immediately also like, oh well, that's the part I don't like. It's so black and white. I don't know about this. It is really clear. It is really clear. So you choose the teacher. You choose that what demonstrates to you to go toward heaven or the other way into nowhere. That's the only choices you have. And see the teacher then as the voice literally in you that you are following. You think there's a way to get yourself out of this in your own ways? Well, you follow the teacher that wasn't taught very well. You follow the teacher that tells you, sit back, be still, listen. Step back, let the light lead you. Just follow me. Stretch out your hand and I will take it. You can follow me. Leave your nets, follow me. That's the teacher that brings you to heaven. That's the teacher that actually sees what is going on. The other teacher is confused and doesn't know where to go. And he just keeps hanging on to an idea about a purpose, about a goal, about thinking this will help without knowing it. Like it's considering things and trial and error with the emphasis on error. So if you think you know how to solve a problem, you're listening to the teacher that doesn't know and lead you into nowhere. So these are just some examples, So I can come up with many, as you can too. I know for sure. So this is great. New Miracle Healers Handbook, and in the beginning of it. So these are just like excerpts from the Course in Miracles. I'll read you a couple. There's no order of difficulty in miracles, is one of the miracle principles. One is not harder or bigger than the other. They're all the same. All expressions of love are maximal. Miracles occur naturally as expressions of love. The real miracle is the love that inspires them. In this sense, everything that comes from love is a miracle. All miracles mean life, and God is the giver of life. His voice will direct you very specifically. You will be told all you need to know, without exception, always. Prayer is the medium of miracles. It is a means of communication of the created with the Creator. Through prayer, love is received, and through miracles, love is expressed. Prayer is the medium of miracles. It is a means of communication of the created with the Creator. Through prayer, love is received, and through miracles, love is expressed. A miracle is a service. This is the last one. A miracle is a service. It is the maximal service you can render to another. It is a way of loving your neighbor as yourself. You recognize your own and your brother's worth simultaneously. And you see, this last sentence is really important. You recognize each other's worth simultaneously. That's really like the bridge to love your brother. It's like there's no difference between you and me. There's no difference that we can come up with in allowing this, say, to melt into love. You cannot do that based on differences. So it's like exactly seeing the worth of you is where the miracle is. If I can allow myself to see that, that's exactly where the miracle happens. And it's really like that in experiencing the miracle. It's like something opens up in you that you see your brother's worth equal to yourself. That's exactly the place where it happens. So this is your invitation to allow that to occur. Like, this. It's not like some faraway abracadabra. No, it is so close to you. It is just, you have to put yourself, say, all your ideas that you have to put them down in order to see your brother's worth. Like if you trust your perception and your ideas or your associative thinking, you will not get there. But in this moment that you're relaxed, that you lay back, so to speak, mentally laying back, and suddenly it comes up for you to see that your brother is of equal value to you as yourself, of equal worth, then that can happen. Then you're open enough to receive the miracle and see, oh my God, I can't believe it. I cannot believe that this is possible. I'm so happy to remember as the delight and love that I can feel for my brother. And of course I know I'm one with him. It becomes so obvious in the miracle. Of course I'm one with him. There is no separation. See, then it becomes obvious too that you used your mind to say, establish these differences. If you look at someone, you can say, like, I have such a judgmental mind. We got to this the other day too. I have such a judgmental mind. No, you don't. Your perception is your perception is based on judgment. That's what you see. It's based on your ideas, of course, or the thoughts that you have about your brother. If you base your reality on that, you will not be able to experience the miracle. But luckily, that is not your reality, and that has nothing to do with your brother's worth. It has nothing to do with it. So that's why this is great to have a practical, say, point where now you can actually see that or feel that even. Like, okay, yeah, my brother's worth and mine are the same. If I think or if I perceive my brother with my eyes or ears and say value or think about what he's saying or how that doesn't align with the way I think, then I already made a difference. I already made him separate. And not only did I make him separate, the thing that happens too is that I believe that such thing as separation is possible. So I'm establishing separation for myself. Not true, never happened, but you can still believe that it's true and you receive the consequences of it. And that's, you got used to it, but it doesn't make it right. It's like, no, you're wrong. Your perception does not allow you to see your brother's value, your brother's worth. Only when you experience the miracle, the remembering of your God nature, the remembering of you as God man, connected with your brother, like completely equal, joined and one with your brother, then you can see your brother. And he will only be a source, say, of total joy and overwhelming love. That is all. That is the only way that you see your brother right. When he's overwhelming, when you experience overwhelming love, then you see your brother right. In every other case, you don't. That's black and white, yeah. So in that you see your brother's worth, in that you allow yourself to be overwhelmed with the love of your brother, is he leading you to heaven? Yes, he does. He brings you right in the middle of it. If you have an idea about me, or if I have an idea about you that has a tendency to separate or differentiate, we're leading to nowhere. We're literally stepping right in the middle of nowhere. And it doesn't feel good. It feels empty. It feels like a shell. It feels like, what is this? It does not go anywhere. There's no energy in it. No. It's depressing. It is this. It is that. And there you sink into your black hole. So you are the only one who can change that. Your brother cannot do that to you. So that's really something. So that's why I invited you to take responsibility for what you are perceiving. It's like what I perceive, what I see with my eyes and ears, and what proves to me that my brother is wrong is not the reality of my brother. It doesn't say a word about his value. If I allow my brother to overwhelm me with his love, I'm open and receptive. Something real is occurring. I'm actually seeing him for the first time. I'm actually allowing him to heal me, to establish me as the Son of God. That is the difference. So one is leading you into nowhere, the other is leading you straight into heaven. So this is another lesson that we're going to read that establishes that makes that real. It makes it real that you have every reason to release all the ideas that you hold about the world, about your brother, about everything that you think is occurring, about yourself. But it doesn't stop there. So we're going to come to that in a minute. But first I want to continue with another paragraph from the Little Hindrance. Nothing, this is paragraph 2, nothing is ever lost but time, which in the end is nothing. It is but a little hindrance to eternity. Oh, here's the little hindrance. Nothing is ever lost but time, which in the end is nothing. It is but a little hindrance to eternity, quite meaningless to the real teacher of the world. But since you do believe in its reality, why should you waste it going nowhere, when it can be used to reaching a goal as high as learning can achieve? So, any answers to that? Why? Since you believe in its reality, the reality of time, why should you waste time it going nowhere, when it can be used to reach a goal as high as learning can achieve? Okay, so this is something to consider. Now you can use your human brain, so to speak. Now you can use your human brain and come to a conclusion. It's like, okay, so why would I waste time? That's the only hindrance, is delay. I want the peace of God, but not now. I got something else to do. And it's like, no, you don't. No, you don't. Of course you do. Otherwise you wouldn't be doing it. But like, no, stay right here. This is your choice. So considering what you want, you might as well use time constructively, as it says here in the course, like using time constructively, going in one direction instead of going nowhere. You go, say, in the direction of heaven, to experience heaven. You're not walking away from it in order to experience it, even though you might think you are going to experience heaven by choosing one of your options. So here we are. The delay, so the little hindrance that we're talking about is time. Why would you waste more time in looking for, say, no solutions, for looking for, surrogates of love, of fulfillment, things that look like it, and you already know that it isn't. So how far do you go with that? So slowly but certainly we come to the place where we can decide, like, no, I don't want to waste any time anymore. I don't know how that looks. I don't even know what I have to do for it. But I want heaven, and I want it now. That's also one of the lessons, of course. But before we come to that, you got to see that the time you spent with your brother in, say, reuniting with him, in a reunion with him, seeing him for what he is instead of believing the crazy ideas you hold about your brother, seeing that fulfills you and reminds you of home. My God, I can't believe it. That is so different, and that has so much juice and say passion and beauty and love. So then the question is, why would you want to choose to go into this like dried out place where you're actually lost? So that's real something. Like I made it a little bit black and white, so it makes it easier to see, like, yeah, that would be insanity, right? So then another point then is, so are you afraid to love? Are you afraid to let love overwhelm you? Or are you happy with that? So you know this. It's like the only one that's stopping you from experiencing overwhelming love is yourself, is you, as this entity that appears to be in in conflict with God, fighting its own war against God, trying not to get into heaven, choosing what it really thinks it wants, and carrying the consequences of it, not liking that at all, but yeah, it is just the way it is, we say then. Like, no, that's not what you want. So this is really interesting, and bringing it back to the course of all this. Like, here nothing happened. When you have a moment of overwhelming love with your brother, you don't even remember what happened before. It's like, no, that's not that dissolved. I don't even know what you're talking about. So this is good to remember. So then the inspiration is there to want more of that. You want more of it when you experience it. So the mind training, all the lessons that we do, like in lesson 191, we come to it too. It's like, it's all based on the same idea. Let your ideas go. Be still and listen. Here it is. Now you see your brother's worth. Now you feel the love for your brother. Let yourself be overwhelmed. Why not? Okay, so I better hurry up with the third paragraph, because we got a whole lesson to do still. God gave his teacher to replace the one you made. God gave his teacher to replace the one you made, and not to conflict with it, not to endlessly discuss, not to conflict with it. No, it's replacement. And what he would replace has been replaced. Time lasted but an instant in your mind, with no effect upon eternity, and so all time is past. And everything exactly as it was before the way to nothingness was made. The tiny tick of time in which the first mistake was made, and all of them within that one mistake, held also the correction of that one, and all of them that came within the first. And in that tiny instant, time was gone, for that was all it ever was. A correction of a mistake. There's a mistake, there's the correction. That was always time was for. What God gave answer to is answered and is gone. See, and that's a really great bridge to my beautiful lesson 191. I'm the Holy Son of God Himself, on page 384. So we're going back a little bit. So it's on page 385 of the Urtext manuscripts. Deny your own identity. So this is the third paragraph. Deny your own identity and you will not escape the madness which induced this weird, unnatural and ghostly thought which mocks creation and which laughs at God. Deny your own identity and you assail the universe alone, without a friend, a tiny particle of dust against the legions of your enemies. Deny your own identity and look on evil, sin and death, and watch despair snatch from your fingers every scrap of hope, leaving you nothing but the wish to die. I love this. Like, well, see, this is the description of the nowhere place that we were talking about. It's like you have a choice. Sure, you have a choice. One leads to nowhere. The other leads to, like, overwhelming love. So watch from your fingers, snatch every scrap of hope. That is like, well, wishing you nothing but to die. This seems to be like a bit of the human nature, the human state in which much people come to in their lives. Like, well, I'd rather die. This is not what I want. I'd rather die. As if that would be an option, you know, as if that's going to be your fulfillment or your salvation. But anyway, so continuing on this lesson, I better read the fourth paragraph it is. Yet what is it except a game you play in which identity can be denied? You are as God created you. All else but this is folly to believe. In this one thought is everything set free. In this one truth are all illusions gone. In this one fact is sinlessness proclaimed to be forever part of everything, the central core of its existence and guarantee of immortality. You are as God created you. Okay, we continue. One holy thought like this, like I am as God created me, and you are free. You are the Holy Son of God Himself, and with this holy thought you learn as well that you have freed the world. You have no need to use it cruelly and then perceive this savage need in it. You set it free of your imprisonment. You will not see a devastating image of yourself walking the world in terror, with the world twisting in agony because your fears have laid the mark of death upon its heart. I am the holy... Oh yeah, be glad today how easily hell is undone. You need but tell yourself, I am the Holy Son of God Himself. I cannot suffer, cannot be in pain. I cannot lose, nor can I fail to do all that salvation asks. And in that thought is everything you look on wholly changed. Okay, so that is one thought, like I am as God created me. See, and then you say like, well, yeah, that's not so easy. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's easily, say, written down and easily read. But how does this actually work? It's like, well, it is pretty clear how it works. I just told you. It's like you come to the place where you actually see that you're the cause of your own despair, so to speak. You're the cause of your own pain. You're the cause of your own sickness. You're the cause of your own war, and on and on and on. It doesn't mean that it dissolves all there. It is more like if you keep pointing outside of you that something is doing something to you, then you will have a problem in changing your mind and see that everything can change by your decision, by wanting to see it differently. So this is really where salvation is. Then I can call it salvation or not, it doesn't matter even. It is more like, come back to the core of this, come back to the fundamental you, the within you, so to speak, make connection with that. And wait there, listen and wait and rest there. Like what I said, don't trust your perception, don't trust what you hear, don't trust anything that anyone tells you, so to speak. No, just stay with your experience. Allow yourself to see your brother in a whole different light, to see your brother and to actually allow yourself to be overwhelmed with love. That is where the miracle happens. That is where everything starts to make sense. Up to the point that you don't experience that, up to the point that you start to experience that, everything starts to make sense, what I'm sharing. So that's why this is a course in miracles. It's a course on love. It's really a love course. As you see what you do with your mind, okay, then you decide to go within and to connect with your heart and open your eyes and see your brother anew. See this whole world anew. You take this with you in connectedness with every aspect of creation. Not based on your ideas of how this world is and where you have to watch out for and what is threatening you and all that. No. So in this core of light that is in you, you have your little Christ child, your little baby that you nurture, your little flame, if you want, your little purple or violet flame that you nurture by taking time to go inside yourself, to go within, to accept whatever comes to you. Like, well, this and this memory comes up. Well, I'm taking responsibility for it. I don't know how to do that, but this is what I want. I want to take full responsibility for all of it, because it will allow me to change my mind about it and have a whole different, view on things. I can suddenly see with Christ's vision instead of my own petty thoughts and ideas. So then it becomes obvious, like, I'm the Holy Son of God Himself. That's being, confirmed by your brother in his overwhelming love relationship with you. This is what is happening. That is what will change you. That is what will help you to, become motivated to do that. Up to the point that you still believe your perception and your ideas about everyone and everything. There's no hope. You walk around and the wish to die becomes obvious. So that's why this is preventing. This is like helping you to not delay time, to not delay anymore. And no, this is really the celestial speed up that is going on. It is not a matter of positive thinking or negative thinking. No, this is about the reality of you. This is about making the decision to take full responsibility for yourself, for what you think about your brother and about yourself and God. So here's the experience then, is your core flame, your little Christ child, nurturing your little Christ child, however you do that. Being still, meditating, reading a lesson, just like we do now, sitting and allowing something to happen to us. We don't even know how that's going to look, but we're willing and adventurous enough to be part of this experiment. See that what you are doesn't need to be described. It needs to be experienced. So I can tell you 100 or 1,000 times you're the Holy Son of God yourself, but it is much quicker to let yourself be overwhelmed with the love of your brother. So here we go. Let's exercise. I love you. Thank you so much. I love you so much. Thank you. It has nothing to do with what I think or what I see. It has to do with how I see you, like how I see you with vision, how I experience you, allowing myself to come to that very sweet spot inside myself where I feel that I don't want to attack. I don't want to defend myself. I'm just here, completely still, extending myself from this flame, joining with you in light. This is our practice. This is what we do, so to speak. So thank you for being able to stay right here to listen to it. I totally appreciate that. So thank you for that. And I hope to see you soon.